welcome to the circle. We're thrilled to be here today. Of course, I'm here with my wonderful co-hosts, Tammy, Lynn, and Heather, and then of course myself, Tracy. And today we're talking about what gets in your way.
Oh my gosh, this is loaded.
Yeah, this is
a very loaded topic.
And I think we all go through it at some point, right? We all go through that journey of something that's just, I mean, I'm going through it right now, right? So I'm going to be revamping over the summer and re-looking at everything and making my plans, right? Because I'm being held back right now.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm overwhelmed. It's because I have too much on my plate.
Yeah, I can relate to that for sure.
Right?
So Heather, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so first of all, I want to start off by saying that we're all human, we're all normal, we all deal with these things, right?
Normal.
We're normal. So what I try to do is really think on a few things that I know that most of us have either dealt with or are dealing with. So I came up with 8.
Sorry, I love your nails.
Oh, thank you.
You look nice.
Thank
The
you.
color's fantastic.
So I came up with 8. I'm going to just list them and then we're just going to revisit them and talk to them a little bit. So the first one is perfectionism, failure, fear, taking too big bites or steps ahead, excuses, procrastination, expectations, big one, and lack of consistency.
Yeah. Wow.
So if we rewind to start at the very first one, which was perfectionism, and I mean, I can speak to this because I have a website that for 3 years is kind of sitting there, not completely done. I'm paying a very small amount to have it still sit there, but it's still coming out of my monthly budget, and it's the perfectionism thing.
Wow.
It is, maybe it's not the right color, maybe it's not the right format, maybe it's not, you know, we kind of get in our own head, and it keeps us stuck. Instead of just putting something out that is good enough, us A-type personalities, you know, really sit in it, and it's just got to be so. Whether it's a website or our content or whatever it might be.
But that's where you need to reach out to someone and have their set of eyes, right? So that they will send them to your website, have them look at it, and then they will reassure you that, yes, it is great, and you can finally launch it and get it out there, right? Because we need other people's thoughts, right? It's like when I do any of my packages or I write anything like that's quite large, like my downloads, I have someone that I send all of it to ahead of time. She reviews it all for me.
Almost like an editor type of thing,
right? Because also I'm worried about what's the end result. Like, am I writing it the way that the people are going to actually understand it? Is it simple enough to follow along, that kind of thing? You know, and I don't like to send it out until I know it's perfect.
I mean, it's one thing to know and understand that it's working, it's functional, right? But getting stuck in like mundane things like, you know, photos and and do I look great in this particular photo, and should I get professional headshots, and, you know, all of those things. It's just a waste of time.
And when you think about that stuff, you almost have to go a layer deeper. Like, is it perfectionism, or is it, if I go live, then it's real?
Right.
Absolutely.
And I think there's a lot of that where you hold back.
That underlining factors,
well, I'm
right?
actually just terrified.
Yeah, right.
It's true. I'm just terrified because it's
how is it going to be perceived?
You know, and how do we get past that so that
that's a good point, is deciding, like, taking some time to figure out, is it that I'm just so afraid, or why am I afraid?
Right.
Because I think the perfectionism thing, you know, you want quality.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Quality. We're not saying just throw out nonsense, garbage. But it comes down to personal development. You know, it's once you feel more comfortable with yourself, you'll know that what I did is good enough. But sometimes you do know this isn't good enough. This isn't, like, it's
who I want to be.
It's distinguishing.
Right.
Is it? What is it? Is it just me deciding there's a problem, or is it really not good enough? That's where another set of eyes helps.
And I went through this when I built my business, because when we were finishing the classroom or boardroom upstairs, I had a corporate opportunity that would have been exceptional, but they wanted to come in February, and we weren't going to be done till March. and I pushed them off, and they never ended up coming. Of course, they found something else, right?
Oh.
But my thoughts were, I don't even have a boardroom. I can't have these people here.
Right.
Of course you could have.
You know, and for the last 7 years, what has been most obvious, and I say this to all my graduates who are waiting for their facility to be perfect and their programs to be perfect and their horses to be perfect. People are blown away when we hand them the lead rope. Check. Everything else is gravy.
Right.
Because it's so different, right?
Right.
And it's because for us it's not unique to be around horses. We have to go that extra mile. And we want to anyway. Obviously our programs are based on that.
Yeah,
but it's interesting when you think about it, most of our clients are not going to be, I don't know what that is, are not going to be as discerning as we are or as critical of us as we are of ourselves.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
For
Okay.
sure.
Which actually ties into your next point about failure,
Yeah.
right?
Hello to everyone that you can see there.
I know.
You need her glasses.
Moss, Carmela, Beth, Lucy.
I know it's hard to read.
Rebecca,
Sorry, guys.
Good morning.
It's hard for us to read.
I'm closer than all of you.
So you were saying it does tie into
failure. Right?
And you know, failure can really be perceived two very concrete ways. One of which is an opportunity to learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or an opportunity to sit in it and feel sorry for yourself and wallow, right? I think that kind of flipping the script on what failure means by, as we fail, we learn what not to do,
Right.
which carries us forward into the next page and the
Mhm.
next page and the next
Yeah.
page. And so I've always believed that, and most of my growth personally has come from failing. Doing something, trying something, and going, yeah, no, it doesn't feel right. It's not for me. Trying something else and thinking, okay, maybe this is it, and working through it and knowing that, no.
Well, and I think we all go through that because as we're building our businesses, there are certain times when we think that we have that great idea or it's the next thing that you're going to offer, and you do the work, you get it implemented, and then it just doesn't fly. Right? So then you go, oh God, am I going to do this again? I failed. Why did that? Right? I built it. They didn't come to me. But I think because we then beat ourselves up and we kind of stop from moving forward and trying anything new. One, because we're afraid of judgment. Right?
Absolutely.
I had someone actually last week make a comment to me about the fact that I have so much on my plate. And I can't believe you would take on something else. So they're already seeing, like they're perceiving me as this woman that just takes on all this stuff.
Right.
But everything I do ties in with something.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when I started the jewelry business, and that's really what this comment was about. But I started that because I want to be a leader. I like teaching, right? Those are all elements that make up everything I do, right? So, but we have that fear of judgment. What are people going to think? So when we fail on something, we kind of take that step back and we're afraid to continue building. We're like, wait a minute, I'm being judged, or it didn't work, or I did something wrong, no one came, whatever it might be, right? So then we just stop and we don't keep moving forward.
Here's the secret. Everybody's failed.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Multiple
Yes.
times. Some of our failures are just more visible and
Yeah.
people know about it, and then we take it personally. And we think
Yeah.
everyone's judging, and probably a few are.
Yeah,
Let's be
absolutely.
honest. That's okay. Most people are not.
No.
Because they're learning with us.
They're
They're learning
learning
with
with
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, if you're not hurting other people along the way with your failure by being, you know, disrespectful and bringing people along on that failure, knowing it's not going to fly, that's one thing. But most people are rooting. They're rooting for you, and we're all big fat failures. As we are on the way to success.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
You have to fail to make success. You
Yeah.
can't get there
Absolutely.
without failure.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
If we did, I'd be making a hell of a lot more money, and I wouldn't be here.
Right.
I'd be sitting on an island somewhere working remotely.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, or I'd be the next Oprah. That's right.
So I really think we've kind of touched on fear a little bit, and that's a huge one. 4 was when you take too big of a step, or you take too big of a bite. You know, what's that saying that, you know, you
Bite
can
enough more than you can chew.
or like you can only eat
How
an
do you
elephant.
eat an elephant?
Yeah, one
bite
small
at a
bite at a time. right?
I've never heard that one.
Ooh, yeah. You have to break it down. If you look at the big picture, that is when overwhelm sets in. That is when those voices start to go off in your head. I can't do it. You know, it's too much. I don't have the time. Whatever it may be. Looking at the big picture, it
can be very overwhelming when you look at the big picture, right?
Yeah.
And you get blinded by that and don't see where to start. What's your first step?
I think just taking the first step, whatever it might be, it can't be wrong as long as you're kind of putting yourself in action and you're moving, forward, for sure. And then, people often get stuck in excuses. And I'm definitely guilty of this because I find with excuses that is when those limiting beliefs really bubble up to the surface, right? I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. It's not the right time. I don't have time. People will judge me. What are they going to think? Am I going to be successful? And you start with this, internal dialogue. And then they just keep coming to you.
And then you don't ever do anything.
You have another, and then you sit, right?
Yeah,
and you don't do anything, right? That's huge for personal development and personal development. Like, those are things that you really have to work on. Like, I almost think first, before you're diving into anything, you have to really get real about your limiting beliefs. What were you going to say?
I think, so I was thinking in lines of that as well, that I think that if you're going to take on more than one element, master the first one.
Right.
Build it, then add, right? So I built my Facebook business, which allows me to bring on any new elements I want to that might complement it, or it could be completely different. But build that first element. Don't try to build all of these little, right? Because otherwise you're just, And because then you'll never reach success. So you'll never see it, right? Which will make you stop. Right? You'll start questioning yourself. But really, if you did one step at a time, right, it might be what you need to lift you up and encourage you to move on to the next one.
Something I learned years ago in this whole, like, what's holding you back and building a business, there's a few things you need to be able to be good at. And figuring out which is the thing that's holding you back. We went through this exercise of what are the top 3 things we needed to do in building it. One was finding customers, okay? The other one was presenting your offer, and the other was closing. So we only broke it down to those 3 things. And it was like, okay, so for this month or this quarter or this year, whatever it is, what of those 3 are you the weakest at? So what's holding you back is that maybe I'm just not good at finding customers at all, like finding people to even share it with. So spend all of your time on that one thing. The other 2, you're pretty good at. So spend 30 days, and then, like you said, break it down. How am I going to get better at that? Talk to somebody who's great, take a course, seminar, read books, whatever it is, and make that your only focus. And at the end of that 30 days, 60, 90, or whatever, assess it again. Okay, here's the 3 things I need to be really great at to get ahead. Which one am I still lacking? For me, it was the same one over and over and over, because I was good at 2 of them and not at one of them.
Right.
And eventually, I evened the playing field, let's say, on all 3 at least. So if that's helpful to anybody, just breaking it down, think about what are the things you need to do. It could be your health, not business. I have a challenge in my health or relationships. What's the thing you really need to work on, and make it only that one thing?
The event that I was speaking at on the weekend, the other guest speaker, Cheryl Clark, for anyone that knows her, she's out of Innisfil. This was my first opportunity to hear her speak. And she did a whole thing around attraction marketing, and it was phenomenal, phenomenal. I'm actually hiring her to do it, Zoom for my team. Because bringing in an outside person, but it was really fantastic. And one of the things that I thought was cool is that she talked about is that we're always waiting for the customer to come to us.
Right.
We always do, right? We sit back and we wait. We put all this stuff out, but we wait for someone to come to us. So she talks about that and how you need to approach them. And she gave us some good tips on how to do that without obviously looking like you're selling. Right. But it was really cool. And she's right. We all sit back and wait for, not all of us, sorry, but most people sit back and wait for someone to come to them instead of going after them. So, attraction marketing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Procrastination is another big one. I almost feel like we've tied all this in, but I feel with procrastination, the biggest hurdle to overcome is just making sure you have a plan.
Yeah.
And you're constantly in your day, you have your checklist.
Yeah.
Something that you're constantly referring to really helps with that.
I think that's a symptom of the other stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's kind of what shows up when you wait and push
for
stuff
sure.
off. It's usually because of fear or overwhelm or failure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good though. I'm not a procrastinator. I can't.
No, you're not.
Because it gets too much in my head if I do. So I'm usually on top of.
I still always do the stuff I like first.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll still push off that.
Right. But you still get it done. Yeah.
See, it depends on what it is for me, because I have throughout my life been very prone to procrastination, and it's not coming from an I don't want to do. It's always coming from me putting every single person in my life before myself, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to sit down and do this. Oh, wait, somebody needs me. My daughter needs me. My husband needs me. My parents need me. This needs me. And it's like that goes to the back burner every single time while I deal with this.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Expectations is a huge one.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, I think we can get lost in this in the sense that what we see on social media, right? We follow people and we see them achieving and their success levels, and we put ourselves on the same expectation level. And really, we can't. Everybody's different, right? We can all only accomplish so much. Just because one person, that you are following or admire is reaching this huge amount of success doesn't mean that you have to do the same, because success is different for everyone.
Absolutely.
But you have to look at your own expectations, really what it is that you want, and stop focusing on everybody else, because that's what we do. We all fall into the trap of it.
For sure.
I'm dropping another secret. Half of it isn't even real. It's
I'm real. I'm real.
I'm sorry. I don't mean it's not real, but it is. It's not
exactly.
a picture. Some of it's playing out maybe isn't real, but it's a perception of, wow, I see this, this, and this. That must mean
yes,
right.
Fill in the blank, and maybe people are sharing things hoping you fill in the blank.
Right.
As something more successful, or maybe it's accidental. Either way, it's not all true.
We know that we have to talk about our success, and I teach this actually in all my trainings, because if I was looking to get into direct sales and I want to sign up with someone, I need to know you're successful. Right? I have to know that because you're going to be my leader.
Yes.
So we have to talk about what we achieve and our success along the way. But what you don't want to miss out is still being human and still showcasing who you are, and that there are some failures, or like my sappy posts I did the last, 2 weeks ago, 2 different posts I had done, and I was revealing some of who I was. You have to do some of those elements. It's not that you have to open it all up, but people have to know you're real, and that, yes, we have success, but we also have failure. There's many things I fail at. Oh my God.
Well, it's what makes us relatable.
Right? So we need to put the success out there, but don't get caught up in that. Like, who you're following, don't think that they're successful in everything they do, because they're not.
No, they're not.
Right. So stop comparing yourself to what they're doing and saying, I need to be there. No, you don't. You need to define your own success and work your way to get there. You can learn from those people and take any tips or whatever advice that they're offering and incorporate that. But don't think that you have to be at the same level as them, because it's different for you.
I would say you're the only one you should be competing with.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. I only compete with myself.
Yeah.
I don't even look at the top. And it's funny because people say to me, they'll drop names, social media names, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. And they kind of go, what? I'm like, well, I don't follow any of them. I have no desire to follow them.
I'm staying in my own lane.
Yeah, I'm here, and I'm like, I don't care what they're doing.
Yeah.
I really don't. It's, and I love what I've built. I'm happy with that. So names get dropped all the time, right? And I'm like, I do Google them after. And I go, oh, damn, I should have known that person. Really? How can I be the FB queen and I don't even know who that social media person is?
Yeah, a lot of times expectation ends up breeding like assumptions. We just assume that people are, somewhere there. Maybe
It's
not,
scary though, it is.
Yeah.
Especially because we live in an online world and the perception is so different, right?
For sure.
There's people I've met in person and I go, okay, you're not really the person I thought you were online, right? So,
oh my God,
right?
when that happened, I'm like, oh my.
I know,
you know?
what?
And how do you speak to that? You can't, right?
No.
But it's kind of like, wow, what a difference.
It was interesting because I see Carmela's watching us. And she commented on a post I did in one of my groups this morning. And it was very interesting. So I was talking about figure out what your strength is or whatever in who you are and bring that into your marketing, right? And I explained how my personality, so I showcase it through visuals. She had made a comment, and when she got into networking or trying to sell her business, she's an accountant. She was told she had to be professional. And she really struggled with that, right? That persona of being this very professional, rigid person, which didn't match her personality. And she then commented and said she was thankful for all the women that she has met through networking, and now she's actually bringing her into it and her own personality, and she says it's made a huge difference for her, right? But that's what the expectation was, right? So she wasn't growing at a level that she probably wanted to grow at because she was expected to have this certain persona about herself, right? Because she's an accountant.
That's the thing.
We love the
she works with
fun
numbers. She's in finance.
Right?
That makes you stuffy and
Exactly,
crazy
right?
every day.
And that's how you're supposed to showcase yourself, especially online. You better be professional, but no, you can throw your personality and still be professional,
People
right?
have to be able to relate to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
These stuffy people do.
Yep. I want to know.
You want to hang out.
We get them off our list. No, we don't want those people.
We're almost getting to the end of
Are
the
we
show.
really
So
already?
I'm just gonna add in one more. And to me, this is a monstrous one. It's consistency. I find, it doesn't matter what you're doing in life, whether it's, a diet, an exercise program, your business, no matter what, with consistency comes results and comes progress, right? If you're doing things, and I'm not talking 24/7 around the clock.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's consistent to you, whether it's 4 days a week, 3 days a week, 5 days a week, 7 days a week, but always showing up on those 3, 4, 5, whatever it may be to you. Consistency is certainly key to see the needle move.
Yep.
In anything.
Really
Anything
honest.
you do, anything in your life.
Yeah. And being really honest about your consistency.
Yeah.
Might seem like you're doing.
Right. You're
And
busy, so you must be consistent.
And but if you actually track it, I love tracking on everything, but if you track for a couple of weeks, you'll find out what you've been doing, and would that equal the results you want or not. It's okay.
Yeah.
What about accountability for that?
Yeah.
Right? Like having an accountability partner.
Yeah, a lot of people,
Nice.
and you know what? I think that's huge for anyone that's especially just starting out. Get an accountability partner. People love doing that. It's benefits both people, both,
But back to expectations with the accountability.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
have to be set up front, because often what people do is they choose somebody who maybe doesn't align or doesn't have the same values, but they like them. And then there's no accountability on your side because they're both soft, or there's no one to be like, let's go, let's do it.
I don't think it should be anyone you have a personal relationship with.
No, I agree. I agree.
When you bring in that personal side, okay, then the other person's going to let you off.
Yes.
Right? Because they got to know you. They're like, it's okay. I understand you're busy this week. You don't get that. No, you need to find someone that you don't already have a personal relationship with. And there's a ton of groups you can ask those questions in.
Yeah.
Even in
I
here.
do it through a coaching relationship. So
Right.
in my coaching program, I have my 12 weeks of accountability calls. And for those who are game, they call in and
I
get her done.
think that is probably the best way if people can do that is having a coach, because they respect you.
Yeah.
You've probably set up the parameters with them,
Yeah.
right?
And I
the
can provide
guidelines.
some guidance and answers and help them overcome obstacles. And
Well, and someone who's going to be hard on you. Like when I did my mastermind program, right? If I didn't do my work, I didn't get to call her for my hour Zoom because she's like, no excuses. There are no excuses.
Don't waste my time.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And she's right. right? And when you work with someone that you know on a personal level, those excuses will happen. Deadline dates will go by, and you won't have accomplished what you need to accomplish.
Chitter chatter happens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to shout out to Sue. We're walking tonight.
Hey, there you go.
Anyway, so we are out of time. I feel like we could go on forever.
Yeah.
And certainly, if anybody has any questions, please pop them in the comments. I know that we'd all be happy to address them
And
for
other
you.
things that you think hold you back, you know?
Yeah.
You have a couple
Absolutely.
even sitting here that they just, you know, even just that being stuck in your idea and not being flexible to move, like that might be something that's limiting your success.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we could go on.
Reach out, in this group. There might be someone else that's gone through it. Feel free to post about it, and we will all chime in as well. But there's other people who will have some experience. We're happy to. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you found value in this, please share it. We have a YouTube channel. We'd love it if you liked our
Once I get it on
channel.
YouTube, you can't share out of this group now because I changed the group to
right.
close.
That's right.
So once I get it up on YouTube, I will post a link in here and in this group, and then you can get just copy and paste that link and get it out for us. We would appreciate that.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's our ask.
Thanks,
Wonderful.
Heather.
Yay.
Awesome.
Have a great day,
guys.
Happy
Bye.
Monday, everybody.
Tracy's on
Talk
duty.
amongst yourselves while I try to find the button.
Value. Oh, nice nose.
There we go. You got to hit end again.
Oh, why would it be so